Hey, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andy.
And this has Been There, Tap That.
We are down at the Royal Athletic Park in Victoria, British Columbia, and we're going to present to you
the 2018 Let's drink.
Drink. Let's do it.
Drink, 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 drink.
The brewer at Axe & Barrel Brewery. I've been there about a year and a half. We are a small craft brewery up by Bear Mountain. We got a brewery lounge. We mainly been doing growlers and just draft out of our lounge. We just starting to get into some packaging. We have introduced our Langford Lager into cans.
Nice.
So this is a light American style Pilsner. This is our first product that we've started packaging, and now we have our West Shore IPA, which will be out next week. And then we're going to do our bombers. We're going to have the lager, our West Shore IPA, and our fruity mother pucker will be going to the bombers next week.
Oh, awesome. So with your lounge, that's lounge license, we can come in, we can sit down?
Yeah, it's like a little mini pub. You can have full service, full servings of beer, flights. We have a small menu, pub food.
Awesome.
Kids are welcome. Growler fills to go, and we got our canned product available
you got, like,
now.
Mini growlers for the kids?
Yeah.
Growlettes?
Yeah, we got the 32
Rabies.
ounce and the 64 ounce growlers. Yeah. All our products are available in growlers, and then we have the cans for our two flagship brands, the lager and the IPA.
Nice.
Awesome. What did you bring here today?
Today we got a brand new beer. This is Mango and the Dirty Dozen.
It's a good
So this
beer.
is a mango peach sour that's been fermented with the Dirty Dozen, which is 12 strains of Brettanomyces yeast. So it's got a really kind of funky sour flavor to it. And the mango and peach were added right into the fermentation. So all that fruit juice was fermented, producing nice sour, low alcohol. So it's kind of like a Berliner Weiss style, but with this funky component of the 12 strains of Brettanomyces.
The Dirty Dozen, that's an amazing name. That's witty.
Yeah, so
That's good.
The dozen strains, the funky bunch.
Yeah.
So this is actually, we're hand pulling this with a beer engine. So it's low carbonated. That low carbonation is agitated as we hand pull it. So let's bring out the CO2,
Right.
top up the head, and it'll kind of agitate the flavor compounds, and they'll come bursting out with the hand pull beer engine.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
That's awesome. Now, in the brewery itself, Andrew, what do you guys put out annually in terms of hectoliters? How big is the production scale?
Oh, it's small scale right now. We're about 1,000 hectoliters a year. That's just mainly from our draft out the front door. We're gonna be pumping it up with this package product now. So,
Amazing.
but still small, little brew house, 10-barrel brewing system.
And that's ideal. And being, local, serving local, and talking about serving local,
Yeah.
where can we find you distribution-wise?
Best place would be to come out to the brewery. We have products that are available at the brewery in growlers that aren't available in other liquor stores, but we're available throughout Victoria. The lager right now, and then our other brands which are coming out next week. Cans,
Awesome,
Lower Island. Have fun, enjoy yourself, drink craft beer.
Drink craft beer, man.
So I'm Greg Zeschuk, Greg Zeschuk, and you are the sunshine of my life.
Perfect. You're the sunshine of our lives. Oh, are you talking about the song or?
Listen to that.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
everyone.
weird.
He's
Wow, that's
amazing.
awkward.
This guy is
That just got really awkward. Yeah, I thought you were talking to us about that.
Kind of both. A bit of both.
A little bit of both. Well, Greg, tell us about what's happening here today. Where are you guys from? Who are you? What do you do?
For
We
sure.
know what you do, but.
Yeah, no, I'm from a brewery called Blind Enthusiasm in Edmonton. We're here at the Great Canadian Beer Festival in Victoria, 2018. Alberta got together and put a little booth. Like, we actually have our friends from Town Square, Blind Man, and Dandy Brewing Company.
Awesome.
All 4 Alberta breweries brought a bunch of beer out here, and we're pouring beer.
And we're super excited to have you here. I mean, welcome to
Thank you.
welcome to BC,
Thank you,
and we're
thank
glad
you.
that you're
Yeah.
free pouring here. This is amazing.
It's been great. The
Yeah.
response has been incredible. I think because most of us, Blind Man gets a bit to BC, but the rest of us don't get out here. So it's an opportunity for people to try beer they don't normally try.
Absolutely. Now, I know that you probably can't touch on all the breweries that are here with
Yeah.
the whole Alberta core of 4 that are here, but
Yeah.
tell us about the brewery that you're at.
Sure. I can talk about all of them really quick. I know
Oh,
they're all
yeah,
good
no,
friends of mine.
please,
so,
yeah,
so my
absolutely.
brewery is called Blind Enthusiasm Brewing Company. It's in Edmonton, and it's in a neighborhood called Ritchie. We have a second brewery that's doing everything fermented in wood, all wood fermentation, primary,
Wow.
secondary. We focus on like really clean European-style beers in our main brewery and restaurant, Bira, and the other brewery, Town Square Brewing, is a restaurant brewery in South Edmonton. They do super cool, interesting beers. A lot of like they have a beet sour, beet spice Sinden
Yes,
with beets,
right, yeah.
which is super cool.
That is
Megawatt IPA, a lot of really good stuff. Blind Man is a place called Lacombe. So
Okay.
Lacombe is in the center of Alberta, near Red Deer. It's a really cool town. They got one of the best beer restaurants in Edmonton. This small town, it's awesome.
Nice.
And Blind Man they have a cool ship. They do some crazy barrel stuff. They have a lot of really great mainstays. They have a River Session Ale that's like one of the mainstay craft beers in Alberta. And finally, Dandy Brewing Company, or 4 wonderfully kooky young lads. I feel like a father to them. I hope they watch this. They're really good dudes. And
Father Greg.
yeah. Well, no, I've known them since then they started. I used to be the head of the Brewers Association in
Eat
Alberta.
your beets. No.
Yes.
Yeah, put them in the beer. I don't know. Do something.
And
with them.
Dandy is super creative, super experimental. They do a lot of sours as well. So they have a wild sour here. They have a new restaurant and brewery in Calgary as well. So they've been around for about 4 years. Blind Man 3, us and the other 2 us in Town Square about a year.
Yeah. What sort of output are you doing in hectoliters annually?
Well, for me, like I'm still probably in like just really small. We're new, or maybe 1,000. We'll maybe get to 2,000-3,000 in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Like there's like all the places in Alberta, all across North America. You got all the small guys, and you got mid-size and big. Like I almost do the 3 level.
Yeah.
90% of the Alberta breweries, like about 100 of them now, are in the small. Then you got like a handful of mid-size, maybe 5 mid-size in like the 10,000 hect, maybe 10 to 20.
Yep.
And then you got Big Rock, which is way up there. So you have like
These scales of.
yeah.
Now, where was in terms of like the definition of Albertan microbrewery? Does that fall within the 10,000
No,
hectoliter? or do they...
we call it small brewing there, small brewers,
brewing.
small manufacturing,
Okay.
and we include Big Rock in that because one of the realities is
Okay.
like they're about 170,000 hectoliters, which you might go, oh my god, but
Yeah.
the reality is the big guys do like 10 million.
Yeah,
out of there.
absolutely.
Like we're talking like the difference and the process difference is very significant. They do single batch, they don't have the high gravity brew. It's a very different thing. Like I mentioned, I was the head of the Brewers Association in Alberta a few years ago, and there were like 10 breweries. Like this was about 4 or 5 years ago, and now there's 100.
Mhm.
Like literally in the last, there's 10 times as many breweries in the last 5 years.
Yeah, the growth is people now. I mean, everyone wants what they want. They want
Yeah.
variety. Everyone's sick of just being force-fed the big 3 companies.
Yeah.
It's like, here's your domestic swill and just
Yeah,
drink it. I mean, everyone wants variety,
Yeah.
and we all want to go out and find those exceptional beers at all these micro that you guys, that everyone's doing, is that eclectic. I mean,
Creative, fun.
creative.
Yeah.
You're doing things. You're doing cast nights. Well, assuming you're doing cast nights,
are,
maybe, and just
yeah.
running all sorts of different things, trying different flavors out. And I mean,
Blind Enthusiasm is very limited, just in Edmonton, just kegs.
Okay.
Kegs and growlers. Town Square does cans as well as kegs. Blind Man does cans and bottles, and you can get Blind Man here in BC. from
Blind
time
Man
to
is
time.
out in BC now.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
fantastic, yeah.
And then Dandy was bottles. Now they've added cans in as well. I'm not sure if they're here yet, but they're about 4 years old, so they may get here pretty soon.
and we were just going to ask and touch on distribution, where we
Yeah.
can find it, whether it's like
Yeah.
primarily in Alberta, where we're going to have to come and get your stuff.
Primarily with the exception of Blind Man. Like Blind Man gets out here a bit, so
Yeah. Awesome.
the energy of craft beer is the same across Canada. Everyone loves their local brewery. They love beers from Canada, from small producers that you can meet.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. Like you see all these brewery T-shirts. One of the best ones I've seen is from this brewery called in California called Santa Adarius. It says "Know Your Brewer," And what that kind of means to me is that you want to go to places that you could pop in and say hi to the person that made the
That's
beer.
right. Absolutely.
He or she could be sitting there, like you can talk to that person about what they made. And you can't do that at a giant place.
No.
You can do that at all of our small breweries.
Right. Absolutely.
There you have it. I love what you guys do.
Really appreciate your time.
The double shake.
And drink your vegetables.
Yeah.
Hey, drink your vegetables.
And ours is banana aroma. So I have fruit.
Well, I'm the general manager at Lighthouse, and it's also my family's business. My dad was one of the guys that started the brewery 20 years ago.
Wow.
And so yeah, 20 years is a pretty big deal in the craft brewing industry. You know, when we started, there were probably about 10 breweries in BC, and you know, it's getting close to 150, 160 before we know it. So it's amazing. A lot of things have changed, but you know, we're still here, so it's pretty exciting.
Tell us about Lighthouse. Tell us about what you do production-wise. What the original core for, or what the original core lineup was of beer.
Sure. So right now we manufacture about 11 packaged products and a ton of different draft products as well. So kegs, cans, bottles. We've got an on-site tasting room that just opened up.
Nice.
Our first beer was Race Rock's Amber Ale in 1998.
Yep.
And so that was our flagship beer.
Yeah.
Here we go, right in front. And followed by Beacon IPA in 99.
That's right. Yeah.
A few years later, we released Keeper Stout, and then Lighthouse Lager, which is now known as Company Lager, was released in 2003.
That's right. And that's a real dynamite lager.
yeah.
Like that's like like almost like your quintessential table beer.
Yep.
Like the Company Lager is really nice. For
Yeah,
sure.
you know, in its previous iteration, the recipe didn't change much, but the Lighthouse Lager won the gold at the Canadian Brewing Awards
Awesome.
a few years back. So no, it's a small batch brewed craft lager for people that just want something that's nice and crisp and refreshing and easy to drink, and yeah, it's very popular, that's for sure.
Awesome.
And your production now is spanning quite a ways. Like how
Yeah,
far are you guys?
We consistently distribute through BC and Alberta.
Nice.
But our priority is always BC as far as stock levels.
Right.
Yeah.
So our priority is to get the beer through the province that we're in
Before you venture out and and
for
feed the
sure.
rest of the masses.
For sure. So
Yeah.
as we move forward and get more efficient and increase our capacity, then we'll have better opportunities to spread.
Well,
That's
it's funny how
fantastic.
you say. I mean, my dad, just in his infinite wisdom, he used to say charity starts at home. So I'm glad that you're looking after us first before we're putting it out there.
Yeah.
So what
for
did you
sure.
guys bring today?
So today we've got our Night Watch Coffee Lager, which you guys are drinking.
Yes.
We've also got Siren's Echo, which is an Imperial Red Ale. And some people might remember we put out a beer called Siren Red Ale in 2012. And this is sort of like the sequel to that.
Nice.
So it's amazing, and we're basically launching it here.
Awesome.
So it's a single tank. We're basically sold out of kegs already. So if you try it here and you like it, you can get it in 4-pack tall cans at the end of the month.
Perfect. Nice. Nice.
And we've also brought our Numbskull Imperial IPA.
That's a stiff drink. That is
Yep,
strong, eh?
for sure.
Like the ABV on that, what is it, like close to 8 or 9?
No, it's a 9.1.
Yeah.
But it's pretty deceptive. It's very smooth, and I think it tastes more like a 6. But we've been rotating the feature hop in Numbskull for the last year or so.
Okay.
Actually, last year at GCBF, we launched the first of the rotating hop series of Numbskull.
The wasps are on me. God damn it.
So we're just coming out of the summer with we had a Motueka as the focal hop, so a Southern Hemisphere hop from New Zealand, and now we've got the Citra. So the Numbskull Citra edition is what's available right now.
Awesome. Wow.
So it's super. It's I say this with every one that comes out, but this is my favorite version of the Numbskull that we've done. It's super refreshing, and the Citra hops really add like a nice fruity element to it that is pretty awesome in a big beer like that. We are consistently in the sort of like 11,000 hec range.
Okay.
And a hectoliter is 100 liters,
Yep.
for those who don't know. But always looking for opportunities to put out new beers and grow that and stuff like that. It's a lot more competitive than it used to be.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
we got to bridge the gap and find a balance between our core lineup that people expect, from us, like Race Rocks and Shipwreck, while still incorporating new beers so that we can stay relevant. So, after 20 years, we can't just sit around and put out the same beers all the time.
Absolutely.
We'll run the risk of, becoming stagnant or losing
Just
people's interest.
missing that shelf opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, we always think of, well, we can put out interesting one-offs and stuff like that, and the guy that's going to go to the liquor store and buy like one bomber of this or one bomber of that or one single tall can of that or whatever. But our goal is always to be the go-to. So that guy does all that, but he grabs a six-pack of Shipwreck too.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely.
Well, I think craft beer in general is just a great community, and it's awesome to be part of that, especially here in Victoria where it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, everyone really loves beer here, and they take it very seriously. So, it's a pretty awesome feeling to go to events like this, or at the Rib Festival down in Esquimalt right now, or just any pub in town, and seeing so many people enjoying different beers and different breweries, and we're just really happy to be a part of that. It's pretty awesome.
And we're happy, to be happy for Lighthouse, and we're happy to be part of this, and we thank you so much.
Yes.
Not only for your time, but for gracing us with your presence and coming down here. And
congratulations on 20 years.
Thanks a lot.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the 20 year.
Come check out the new tasting room.
Yeah, we will, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
I can hear him already. You're thinking of it, Harley? Don't do it.
Don't do it.
So we're here with Harley, Longwood Brewery in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Harley, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about what you got going on up there and what you plan on doing.
All right. We've kept with about like 20 to 30% growth over the last few years.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Hopefully that continues. I mean, it's getting very busy out in our market right now. So you always have to be on top of new things.
Absolutely.
But we're up to about 25 to 2,700 hectoliters a year.
Wow. Wow.
We don't want to grow too huge.
Yeah.
It's still a family-run operation. There's six employees in house, and then we've got 3 people roaming around on the street selling beer. So we're still pretty small.
Yeah, that's a nice tight network.
Yeah. Our footprint is mainland, the island mostly. We like to service our back door mostly the best, and then we've got some up into the interior a little bit.
And we were just going to actually just touch on your distribution and just where we can find your beer, like island available, of course.
Yeah, they're all around. We've recently had some success with tapping into the government liquor stores, so we've had a couple of seasonal listings. It's done very well. It really opens up the door when you can access 250 stores that you normally couldn't.
Absolutely.
What beers did you bring here today?
So you got the Goes, Before Bros.
Yep.
Morgan
Good one.
comes up with our
By
fabulous
the way.
name. So we collaborated with Vancouver Island Salt Company.
Oh, nice.
This is a orange and lime citrus salt, so you get a little bit of that citrusy flair. Came out quite a bit more.
Yeah, no,
It's amazing.
On this overcast day,
that's
Goes
right.
still works out. It's getting a little
Sure.
humid today, so it'll be nice. We brought a Stout Nick. We have our Wild Child, which is sort of the home cultured wild yeast from around the brewery. We've done it for 3 years now, building up on the culture.
Awesome.
And it's a blend of last year's and this year, so it always changes that beer, but pretty solid showing for that. And then we've got our Honey Pale Ale. Our honey hop.
the other day.
Yeah, we did have that the other
That's
day.
been going over really well. It's one of our core brands now, and it's available in 6-packs.
Yep. Nice.
So it's been a good success.
Talking about the core,
Yeah.
what was your original core lineup?
Our core really hasn't changed much. We started with a blonde ale, as most craft breweries do. So they want to
Absolutely.
avoid the clog of the lagers.
For sure.
But we left that beer and we brought on the Island Time lagers. So our biggest focus right now is terroir and beer. We grow our own barley up in Courtney.
Nice.
We malted at a micro malting facility in Nanaimo.
Okay.
And then we're 100% island hops. We do bring a little bit of hops from the mainland, BC Hop Co. But
So very local for everything.
very local.
Yep.
We're trying to get up to 100%.
That's fantastic.
And
Which is pretty fun. We've got great relationships with farmers. We source local fruit. The raspberry beer are buried alive, which is been big for us.
That's a good
all
one
the
too,
time.
yeah.
We get those berries out of Abbotsford,
Okay.
just so it's consistent all year round.
Absolutely.
And that's been successful.
Probably a huge volume of raspberries that you got to bring in for
Oh
a
my
batch.
God,
eh?
750 pounds and 5,000 liters of beer. A lot of berries.
That is a lot of
We
berries.
feast.
On berries
I'm sure, yeah.
once every couple weeks. When
That's
they go
healthy.
into bed.
Buried
Yeah.
alive is right. Where's Harley? I don't know. He's in with the raspberries.
Berries, yeah. Yeah, so it's been a fun run. You know, we use beets for beer. Any farmer will bring us whatever. We got quince, you know, pretty much a useless fruit.
Yeah,
But, makes a great tart beer. So
Something different.
yeah, we'll try anything really.
That's awesome.
And I think
really
that's
awesome.
what most breweries are doing these days. You know?
Just have to
It's wide
experiment. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
wide, yeah.
It is. The whole
Very
gamut is
wide,
open
yeah.
for you to just run wild. If you can dream it, they will drink it.
That's
They're like, you know, 30 years ago when I started, it was all about Reinheitsgebot. Everyone, Bavarian purity law. That's how you made your mark.
Right,
And now it's like you see shirts with Reinheitsgebot wine fruit. They want adjuncts, and fruit,
That's
fat,
right.
you name it.
Yeah.
Blown apart.
We're
Great.
We're a finicky bunch. We want
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Let's have some. What's new? What do you got that's
Exactly.
new?
What do you got?
No, I
When's
can't-
past tonight? Right.
Yeah, we do a lot of one-offs in the brewery that you can only get in the tasting room.
Yeah.
So we have like a 10-foot by 10-foot square tasting room. Fills up with 6 people. So
That's perfect.
you know, come see us. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully have a picnic license pretty soon out front so we can accommodate maybe 10 more people.
Yeah. Talking about licensing, do you have a lounge license or no? Okay, so we can come in. We can do like a deconstructed flight.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, we're limited now to just 3 small glasses or however many you want.
Or however
many you want. 12 ounces
however
of
many
beer.
they'll allow you to
12
have.
ounces,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we really appreciate
Yeah.
this, Harley.
We
Thank
appreciate
you so
this, Harley.
much.
And
Yeah,
just one last
fantastic.
word.
Yeah.
If you had one last thing that you could tell the world anything about craft beer, what's your mark? What would you say?
Drink beer.
Drink beer. Perfect.
Because we own beer. Not just craft beer. Beer.
Beer. Drink your beer, folks. We can do that. Yeah. Vitamin B.
Awesome.
Harley, man,
Guys,
thank you so
thanks
much.
again.
Man. Thanks for your time, man. We fully appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
All right. Well, Super Oceanside Brewery, we opened a year and 8 months ago. And we've got a tiny little brewery and a gas station, which is, I think, the only one in BC. I'd like to think we're the only gas station brewery. But yeah, it's gone completely bananas. We're out in wholesale. We're in stores all over the island with our core products. We have taps all over Soup, some in Victoria, up island, and things like that as well. So today this is our second beer fest. Last year was our first one. It was a blast. And this year we brought our Stiff Jab Pale Ale, which is one of our core beers.
Yeah, that is one of the core.
That's right. And we want to show that, right? We want people to know that those core beers, if they haven't had them yet, give them a go. You know, we don't get a ton of people out in the Soup like Victoria does. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're busy as hell. But we want to introduce people, if they haven't had those core beers yet, to check those out. Then we also have one of our seasonals, which is one of our West Coast Beach Series beers. It's called Sandcut Saison, named after Sandcut Beach. So it is a rye saison.
Nice.
And then the cask, of course, is a Moscow Brewal today. We're only in 60 stores. And on one hand, I say we're only in 60 stores. But on the other hand, I say, holy shit, we're in 60 stores. Because I don't even have a salesperson. I can't have a salesperson yet because I can't make more beer. So if I put a salesperson on the road right now, I'm kind of hosed. So that's what we're in the process of doing right now, putting together a big growth, get full scale, much bigger full scale systems, so that we can start pumping it out, put someone on the road. And like we've discussed in the past, you know, SOB's always been, it's going to be a restaurant brewery on the waterfront. That's the end game of this entire thing. That's why I started it. I was a chef for 22 years. That's what I want. I think the way we've started is small, hand built. You know, our entire tasting room is I built the thing. Because that's how this business was going to grow and how we were going to do it. The authenticity of the fact that Garrett's in there, you know, grinding away every day. He helped with some of the build. You know, it's grassroots, as grassroots as it gets. And then, of course, it helps that Garrett's brewing killer beers. You know, so we picked up our first BC Beer Award last year at our very first event. Then we picked up Canadian Brewing Award, which we're stoked about. BC Brewing Awards are coming up again, so we'll see what we're going to enter there. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I mean, it's for all intents and purposes, it's just going bananas. So getting everything for me, it's now just about phasing into step to get to what I want to get to. In a perfect world, I'd love to keep where we are though as well, because it's where SOB was born. You know, and it's where people go to get their growlers.
And I mean, the community that from the moment we opened our doors supported us so thoroughly. I think they still are going to want to come there and get their beers, you know, as far as growler fills are
Absolutely,
concerned.
yeah.
So
Yep.
we'll see, though. I mean, it all comes down to what is actually feasible. Cheers.
Category 12 Brewing, Sanderson, British Columbia. The man is a scientist. I mean, he devoted your career.
20 years of school and research before I finally realized what I love doing. I had no idea this was coming. I had friends who told me years before I realized I was going to do this that I was going to do this. And I thought they were crazy.
Were they like dorm room buddies?
They were college buddies for sure.
And so you were making something there?
I did start homebrewing during grad studies. That was really out of necessity, I like to say, because you're living on about $1,000 a month as a grad student. Right. So, you know, grad students got to drink.
So how long have you been doing this for?
Well, the brewery itself has been open 4 years, but I started brewing mid-90s. So I really started getting heavy into like all grain home brewing and just tinkering and coming up with recipes in the late 2000s. So, and the brewery idea was kind of conceived in January 2013 after like a second round of layoffs at the company I was working at. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, it's time to kind of try and take control of my life a little more.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So what are we drinking here? This is the Juicy Data?
This Juicy Data. Tell us about the Juicy Data.
That is our entry into the hazy IPA scene. And it took me about a year to become a believer on that style. But I started to find some that I really loved. Yeah. Actually, one of them was from Winterlong up in the Yukon, the Whitehorse, that really opened my eyes. And I also had a really good friend from Chile, Santiago, visited us for 2 weeks last year. Really? And that guy brought up some beers that had the best aroma I've ever tasted. And so I started like, okay, I'm listening. Started researching it, and we did a couple pilot batches in March. And felt we were onto something. We released it in May, and it just evaporated.
Oh, it's amazing.
So the response has been off the hook.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about like the hazy IPAs and IPAs in general, just the way that you can introduce those citrus flavors just with hops.
It's amazing.
I mean, it is absolutely amazing. If you've never been privy to that before and you just try it for the first time and you're like, okay, that's got to be like juice in there.
I agree.
There's no juice in there.
And it's low on the bitterness. So most people who don't like IPAs will find this really approachable.
Yes.
Because it's all aroma and flavor, but not the pucker or the bitter, right?
Absolutely.
No, that's fantastic. What other beers did you bring today?
We brought our mainframe red ale, our dry hop sour. So that's a really nice approachable sour for those who haven't had sours. And we also casked our side project Amber Lager and dry hopped it with Etanum and Equinox.
Nice.
So yeah, we launched with 2 beers. One would be a Disruption Black IPA, which is still a year-rounder of ours.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's still my personal favorite. And Unsanctioned Saison. And so that's just been re-released as a seasonal. And our core lineup right now is our Wild IPA.
Seasonal. And that is crazy to introduce the brewery with like a saison.
Mm-hmm. We wanted to be, we wanted to get noticed, and we didn't want to come up with stuff that people were already doing well. And so you got to kind of figure out how to stand out. Right?
Yeah, no, fair enough. And I think that's just a fantastic approach. Yeah. Separate yourself from the crowd. Come in there with, you know, just punching.
Well, yeah, Disruption was supposed to be a seasonal, and we tried to take it away, and people just demanded it back. And so, like, okay, it's coming back.
And this is like the Juicy Data. You try to limit it, and everyone's like, nope, freaking out.
Yeah.
Michael, put it back on the
as
shelves.
much as you can.
It's amazing. Definitely
It's
like
so good, yeah.
One of my go-tos that we always have, and that's traditionally almost always in the fridge as well, if not always in the fridge.
Always in the fridge.
Is the hazy. Yeah, absolutely. The Juicy Data is incredible.
You know, I kind of paraphrase something my wife, Karen, who's my equal partner in this, says. It's like, we may not have a beer for you, but we've got a pretty diverse portfolio. But somebody out there, craft brewery, has a beer you'll like. Just drink local, drink craft, don't drink macro.
Drink lots.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're not trying to collect the beer. We're just making the beer.
There is no anger, just growing exhaustion and disgust. No longer difference between. I cynicism has been riding itself into my skin, and I am sick to death of it. So I'm fighting for you, alone with everything else. But I'm mistakes, I will get survived. The efforts of the populace of man is hard to wait. Just running circles, such a self-sin. Take